In a time of candles and carriages, when lightning was feared, not studied, a boy was born under a storm so fierce, some thought it was a curse, but it wasn't. It was a beginning. He would grow to hear what others could not, to see what hadn't yet been imagined, to dream of a world powered by the invisible. This is not just a biography. It's the story of a mind touched by light, and a soul that burned brighter than any filament. Welcome to Culture in Stories, where today we follow the path of a man who didn't just invent machines. He invented the future. This is the tale of Nikola Tesla. In the mountains of Lika, when the wind howls like a wolf and lightning strikes like spears from the sky, the elders say there are nights unlike any other. Nights when the universe seems to hold its breath, and that was one of them. Above the small village of Smiljan, the storm roared without mercy, and amid that celestial chaos, a light was about to be born. The villagers of Smiljan say that on the night Nikola Tesla was born, the sky did not hold back. Lightning danced like spirits over the rooftops, and the wind howled with the voice of an omen. Inside a humble stone house, a woman twisted in pain, but not in fear, for she already knew her child was not born of earth or smoke, but of something higher, of lightning itself.
This child has come with the storm. It's a sign from heaven or from hell.
No, he came with the light, and one day he will help the world see it.
She could neither read nor write, yet with her hands she built what others only dreamed of. Juka Tesla, daughter of peasants, spun wool while inventing tools. In her fingers lived the logic of the gods, and in her soul the faith of eternal mothers. Years before Nikola spoke of lightning, he had already learned that ideas aren't always born in books, but in the hands of a mother who turns the simple into the miraculous.
My mother could make a broken spindle spin with a single nail. She said everything had a soul. Spoons, pots, even threads. And when no one was watching, she spoke to them. She used to say the fire knew when someone was cold.
He wasn't like the other children. While they played with mud and sticks, Nikola searched for the invisible trail of the wind, listened to the stars as if they whispered equations, and dreamed of touching lightning without getting burned. One day, under the Lika sky, young Tesla saw how the sun lit up the glass on his window, and thought that if light could enter, maybe it could stay.
I believed everything had electricity, even stones. Sometimes, when I closed my eyes, I saw lines moving on their own, as if someone were speaking to me, with light.
Milutin Tesla was an Orthodox priest. He had devoted his life to ancient words, to chants, to duty. And though he loved his son, he couldn't understand why, instead of praying, that boy looked to the sky as if waiting for thunder to speak. But one night, under the oil lamp's glow, the father spoke, and the son listened.
Nikola, gifts are sent by God, but yours feel like they were carved from lightning itself. I don't know if I should be afraid or give thanks.
And sometimes I feel it, Father. Like something wants to speak through me. Not with words, but with sparks. Do you think God can speak that way too?
Some draw maps to cross rivers. Nikola drew them to cross the darkness. While others saw meaningless spirals, he was already imagining fields, currents, and invisible pulses. As if his pencil touched something that wasn't there, but soon would be. The world felt too bright to him. The lights, they hurt. The sounds pierced through him. And sometimes, without anyone speaking, words appeared on their own, floating before his eyes. He was 15 and could no longer tell if what he saw was real or if reality lived inside him.
I close my eyes, and I see lights no one has turned on. Perfect shapes spinning, bursting, vanishing. And when I open them, I no longer know if I'm still dreaming.
It wasn't a storm that changed his life. It was a book, an old, forgotten one, hidden among broken manuals and ownerless pages. There, among unreadable formulas and sketches of impossible machines, Nikola felt for the first time that someone had seen the same lightning he had. And from that moment on, the book stopped being an object. It became a secret, a sanctuary.
I didn't understand the words, but the lines spoke to me. It was like staring at the bones of a storm drawn in ink.
He didn't need a pencil. He didn't need a blueprint. Tesla could build an entire machine without moving a single part. In his mind, the gears turned, the turbines roared, sparks danced between invisible coils. But when he spoke it aloud, he heard only one word: impossible.
You call it madness, but in my mind, it all fits. Currents, coils, fields. I see them moving like music. What if the world isn't what we've been told? What if there's more, waiting to be awakened?
It was autumn. The sky cracked like a broken drum, and the wind carried the voice of ancient gods. Nikola walked alone, as always. But that day, amid lightning and trembling branches, he saw it. It wasn't lightning. It was a motor, spinning, vibrating, waiting. The whole world feared storms. Tesla, instead, listened to them.
There it is. I see it. And now I won't be able to unsee it. Now I just have to build it.
After the vision came the silence. The laboratory was not yet a place of certainty, but of questions dressed in copper and glass. There, beneath the light that filtered in like revelation, Tesla wasn't trying to build an invention, but to prove to the world that what he had seen was not a delusion, but a destiny.
I saw it so clearly, not just how it works, but why. No one else sees it yet, but this spark, this silence, they know. And one day, the world will too.
Days turned into endless nights in that improvised attic. Tesla worked without rest, fueled only by his obsession. But the body, unlike the spirit, has limits. One morning, the young man didn't wake over his blueprints, but in his bed, drenched in sweat, defeated by fever. For days, he drifted between shadows and light. His mind did not stop. He saw spirals spinning on their own, gears suspended in the air, and invisible currents dancing between his feverish fingers. It was in that delirium, when his body was most fragile, that his genius saw with greatest clarity. There, between weakness and sleep, the motor of his visions was born. Outside, the world carried on, indifferent to the silent battle unfolding in that dim room. But inside, young Nikola slowly emerged from his fever, his eyes clearer than ever. As if he had glimpsed a fragment of the future. He sat up with difficulty, still weak, but with a new determination on his face. He reached for the notebook left open beside the lamp, and with trembling hands began to sketch. Lines, coils, and a perfect geometry that seemed to float from his mind onto the page. It was there, in that sacred stillness between illness and recovery, that the concept of the alternating current motor took real shape for the first time.